This is Kelso Sturgeon. Welcome to another day at my College of Advanced Sports Handicapping. A lot to talk about. Pleased to report I kicked off the football week with a nice 19-6 win with LSU last night over Mississippi State. Came away with the impression that LSU is the most physical team in football. They'll really go after you, and I, for the first time, concede that the Tigers are a legitimate contender for the national championship. They just were absolutely focused, intense, and mean as a rattlesnake last night against a very tough Mississippi State team. Very impressed, and now know for sure they can go the distance. This is a good football team. You know, this is a great weekend in football, and this is my weekend report. We're going to cover the games of Friday, Saturday, and Sunday on this report. Get your pencils out. You might want to write down some of these things. And also, I will be releasing a 50-unit college blowout play later in this report, just as I did last week, a 50-unit play on Temple, who just absolutely buried Akron 41-3. This game that I'm releasing today will win just as easily, so pay attention. Let's speak for a little bit about tonight's Boise State at Toledo game. You know, the one thing that stands out in this game is that the line makers may have finally awakened to the fact that Boise State really is a good football team. You know, the soft numbers on this team all season long, or well, I should say for the last 3 or 4 seasons, have been somewhat ridiculous. You know, here's a team that when it was favored by 20 or more points over the past 3 seasons, went 18-5 against the number. Tonight's number is Boise State minus 20 against the best Toledo team that I've seen in years. What you saw last week when Toledo took Ohio State to the money before losing 27-22 is what you're going to get for this season. Tonight's game, I think the cover rests on one factor. I intend to get the money. You can get both the Boise State at Toledo game and the Iowa State at Connecticut game right now on this website, or toll free at 1-800-755-2255. Best Bet Club plays and tend to go 2-0. Now for the weekend, it's just a dynamite weekend. First of all, I'm kicking things off on Saturday with a 100-unit college marquee TV bonanza. 25 units on 4 games. Get this: Tennessee at Florida, Michigan State at Notre Dame, Oklahoma at Florida State, Ohio State at Miami, all in the same package, 100 units of play, and I absolutely intend to go 4-0. Also on Saturday, releasing my 50-unit college game of the week. I'm 1-1 in these games this season, intend to get the cash today in a big-time way. Also, I'm releasing my Saturday night special. I'm 2-0 the first 2 weeks, won both games in blowout fashion. I intend to win this one in blowout fashion. So Saturday, you have my 4-team TV bonanza, 100 units. You've got my 50-unit college game of the week, and another outstanding play, my Saturday night special. On Sunday, coming right back with another winning 50-unit NFL game of the week. Won last week by a half a point with the Arizona Cardinals over the Carolina Panthers. Came right back on Monday night, knocked down the money with the New England Patriots, and then came threw in over Miami, and then threw in a free bonus play. Got the cover with Dallas over the New York Jets. Big weekend, intend to go the distance. And don't forget, later in this report, that 50-unit blowout winner, absolutely free. Now, there's a lot of money moves in college football this week. You ought to write them down, because I think that almost all of this money came from wise guy sources, and make some notes here. You know, the money is shown for Temple over Penn State. Penn State was a -10, they're now -7. One of the biggest line moves on the board. Colorado State over Colorado. Colorado was a 9.5-point favorite, they're now 7. Minnesota over Miami of Ohio. Minnesota was a 3-point favorite, now 4.5 and 5, depending on where you bet. Army over Northwestern. This game was Northwestern -9.5. It's now Northwestern -5. No quarterback Persa this week for Northwestern. He's still out. Navy over South Carolina. South Carolina was 18.5 point favorite, now minus 16.5. Louisville over Kentucky. Kentucky was minus 7, now minus 4.5 or 5, depending on where you bet. Illinois over Arizona State. Big line move here. Arizona State opened as a 1.5 point favorite. Illinois now a 2 point favorite. Kansas State over Kent State. This opened 17.5. Now it's Kansas State minus 14.5. Utah over Brigham Young in a real battle. BYU opened 6.5. Now 4.5 and even 3.5 in some places. Central Florida over Florida Atlantic. Florida International. Central Florida opened a minus 4. They're now minus 6. Let me run down the money teams. These are teams in which the money is showed in a big way for the college games on Saturday. It's shown on Temple, Colorado State, Minnesota, Navy, Army, Louisville, Illinois, Kansas State, Utah, and Central Florida. This is big money. It's important money, and I always say this with the caveat that these games, the money covers a number 50% of the time for those who get in late and have to lay a bigger price or take less points with an underdog. Now let's go to the NFL. I think that handicapping the NFL demands that you look beyond the obvious. And I think one way that you can protect yourself, there's a full schedule of 16 games, handicap every game, and do your best to make a case for both teams in that game, obviously factoring in the point spread. If you do that, you're going to protect yourself, and you're going to find a lot of teams that you just think will blow away the number won't. Or you'll find a lot of teams that just have tremendous edges and are being offered as modest favorites or whatever. So handicap every single game. Try to make a case for both teams. And if you find a game where you really can make a case for both teams when you factor in the point spread, either proceed with caution or pass the game altogether. Now, let's get to that 50-unit college blowout game for Saturday, absolutely free. I think this game will win just as easy as Temple did last week in beating Akron 41-3. I know you get nervous about laying the big wood, but I'm taking Michigan minus the 28 over Eastern Michigan, looking for a 50 to 55 point Michigan win. You heard that right. Michigan over Eastern Michigan, looking for a 55-point win. My free blowout game of the week. Now you can get all of my selections at on this website or toll free at 1-800-755-2255. I'm looking for a dynamite weekend. Let's go get the money together. Let's have a good one.